Following the last 16 upsets of Thursday, there was a real land of opportunity for some of the ATP World Tour's less heralded players to reach a Masters 1000 semi-final. But with Djokovic and Nadal still standing in Monte-Carlo, the old guard weren't done quite yet. After upsetting Andy Murray, Albert Ramos-Vinolas's reward was a last 8 clash with the number 5 seed Marin Cilic. Ramos-Vinolas was starting to make a habit of tearing up the form book. A forehand winner from the 29-year-old saw him in control of the opener.
Oh, it's fantastic shot making.
The first set in the bag 6-2, things were looking rosy for the Spaniard. But when Ramos-Vinolas was broken serving for the match, Cilic stepped things up in the second set breaker.
That is just too good from Marin Cilic.
In a seesaw contest, Cilic broke early in the decider. But just like in his match against Murray, Ramos-Vinolas seemed to play his best tennis when trailing.
Oh, he's made it.
And with the Spaniard applying the pressure, Cilic wilted to hand the number 15 seed the match.
Albert Ramos-Vinolas rolls on in Monte-Carlo.
Pouille and Pablo Cuevas met for the first time in their quarter-final matchup. After the pair exchanged one-sided sets, the business end of the match began with Cuevas seemingly on top.
And he finds the back edge of the line.
But when the Uruguayan served for the match, nerves seemed to get the better of him as he handed Pouille a lifeline.
Would you believe it?
Cuevas then served to stay in the match, but with the crowd lifting the Frenchman, Pouille clubbed his way to establish match points.
And again, another terrific point from Pouille.
And Pouille then sealed the deal on match point number 2 to reach the last 4.
It's Pouille who wins it. Reaches a second Masters 1000 semi-final, his first here in Monte-Carlo.
David Goffin has the most wins on the ATP World Tour this season, but was seeking a first against last 8 opponent Novak Djokovic. Djokovic had struggled in his previous 2 matches, and once more he found himself playing catch-up. But Djokovic rediscovered his mojo, and after claiming the second set, he then produced some superlative shots to stay ahead in the decider.
How has he pulled that off?
But the Belgian looked the calmest man in the stadium and delivered a devastating backhand to get back on terms.
It's a trademark delivery.
With the match seemingly heading to a tiebreak, Goffin somehow found another gear to set up 2 match points.
What's he thinking?
The world number 2 fended off those, but on his 5th match point, Goffin finally claimed the biggest win of his career and his first over Djokovic.
David Goffin beats a top 3 player in the world for the first time in his career. Djokovic is finally knocked over here this week in Monte-Carlo.
9-time Monte-Carlo champion Rafael Nadal had been impressive in his 2 victories, so a tough challenge ahead for Diego Schwartzman. Having claimed the opener, the defending champion began to deliver some outrageous shots.
Oh no! Something very special.
But Schwartzman was more than holding his own, and after claiming 2 breaks of serve, he had the king of clay worried.
There it is!
But in the 8th game of the second set, Nadal went to work to break his opponent's spirits.
What a steal.
And that proved the beginning of the end for Schwartzman, as Rafa ran away with the match in the fading gloom.
A run of 14 straight points for the man chasing a 10th Monte-Carlo crown.
Nadal will play David Goffin for the very first time as he seeks another Monte-Carlo final.